What is up, my videos? Maine-iac here, February 2nd, NBA game picks and spreads for the remainder of the 2018-2019 season. We got some really good games. We have a lot of games, so we won't be able to go over them individually each too much, but we'll do our best. The Clippers at the Pistons as our first matchup, currently at 5 p.m. Eastern, so it's in an hour and 40 minutes, roughly from when this video is being recorded. Detroit's favored by 2 here, but I'm going to pick the Clippers. One reason why I'm picking the Clippers in this one and what you could call the upset is I believe this game is a little bit more 50-50, but I trust the shooting of the Clippers just a tad more than the Pistons. And I think it's going to come down to who do you trust more shooting? Do you trust the Pistons inside or do you trust the Clippers medium to outside range? Yeah, I'm going to go with the Clippers in this one. You got the Bulls and the Hornets. Hornets by 6.5. I'm going to pick them to win and cover, hit 500. Kemba Walker is an incredible player. Bulls could pull off the upset here, but Levine is going to need one of his best performances of the season, and I just don't see that happening. 6.5, very reasonable spread. I'm going to pick the cover on this one. And you have the Nets at the Magic. Magic currently favored by 2.5. This one's particularly tough because this game is more of a 50-50. The spread favors the Magic more so because they are at home, obviously. No Jared Dudley, no Crabbe for the Nets, obviously. No Dinwiddie, no LeVert for the Nets either. I'm going to pick the Magic to win this one at home, although the Nets are an incredible team. If Allen can control the boards over Nikola Vucevic, then obviously the Nets have a chance. But I feel like in my heart, I feel like Gordon and Fournier are going to show up tonight in this matchup. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be solid. And if the Nets do show up, they could solidify their postseason positioning early on in the season with roughly 28 games to go after this. This game could be important later on. And you have the Bucks at the Wizards. Speaking of playoff positioning, Bucks an incredible 37-13 to start the season. Currently favored by 7 here. I don't think the Wizards really have anybody to match up well with really anyone on the Bucks. Porter, it currently states he's day-to-day, so I'm not sure if he'll play or not. Bradley Beal's going to have to shoot consistently. He's had some good games lately, but his shooting hasn't been consistent. And I think Giannis is just going to control the inside way too much. Lopez is also a good complement to that. Brogdon and such are capable enough guards to where the Bucks shouldn't be exposed too easily. And their defense is really, really solid. One reason why the Bucks are propelled towards the top of the East. Then you got the Mavericks at the Cavs. Mavs by 7 here. 5 games currently under 500. Not too much of a surprise when you think about it. They are 3-2 in their last 5, with 2 games over the Pistons that were split, which isn't too much of a surprise either. No Kevin Love, no in this one, still out with an injury. Obviously, Porzingis not expected to play for the rest of the year, so we will see. Interesting to see if Hardaway, Courtney Lee, or Trey Burke actually suit up in this one for the Mavericks. It would be very interesting. Love is close to returning from reports that I've heard, so it'll be interesting to see if he returns the next game, the game after, or possibly for a couple minutes in this one just to get him used to action. I'm picking the Mavericks here, though. I think Doncic has a nice matchup. Osman could pose some problems, but I don't think he's polished enough yet. It's like, if I don't mean to say so much, I do apologize. The Cavaliers, their key to win this one probably will be through their young players, through Osman, through Sexton. If they can shoot consistently, put pressure on early, make the Mavs put their foot on the gas, wear them out, the Cavaliers definitely have a chance. And they have the Pacers at the Heat. I'm going to pick the Heat here by 2.5. Ever since Oladipo got hurt, the Pacers don't look like themselves. Two of the people I've noticed suffer the most is Sabonis and Bob Yanovich, or however you pronounce his name, I apologize. Both of them haven't been playing well since Oladipo got hurt, and I think the Heat at home are going to expose that. If the Heat want to make the playoffs, their most likely route is going to be a slip of the Nets or someone like that. But with Oladipo out, if the Pacers don't find a way to gel back together, the Pacers could fall out of the playoffs by the time they roll around. Hopefully they staked enough of a lead to still make it, but it will be interesting to see. This is going to be a crucial matchup, mainly because Miami is one of those borderline teams, and a win here would only put them, I think, 6.5 games behind the Pacers. So this is crucial. A win here, show them that you're still there, and the league's going to be scared next year when Oladipo's healthy. Then you get the Pelicans at the Spurs, as you can see here. Interesting game for sure, but that's not the reason why it's a game of the day. Spurs currently favored by 10.5, rightfully so. I believe, yeah, no Anthony Davis, no Julius Randle, no Etwan Moore, no Alfred Payton. Okafor is going to have to show up, so is Drew Holiday. They're going to have to show up, but I don't think the Spurs really have an answer for DeRozan, Rudy Gay, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Derek White and Brian Forbes, or I should just say the young guards, because there's more than just those two. Patty Mills as well, have been playing good for the Spurs as of late, and I think they should win and cover at home. Then you get the Lakers at the Warriors, ABC, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Golden State favored by 11.5. LeBron is back. KD LeBron should be an interesting matchup. Another interesting factor in this is the fact that I've heard the Lakers had offered the Pelicans 2 first-round picks. I believe it was 2 firsts, one of them protected, I'm not quite sure. Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Rondo, and Beasley or something like that. One thing I do not particularly like about that trade for the Pelicans, and probably one reason why they accepted, is with Drew Holiday and Alfred Payton, 2 really promising young guards, to flood yourself with contracts or players like Alonzo Ball or Rondo, stuff like that. You're flooding your guard position while leaving your center position extremely vulnerable. The only slightly big man you get in that trade would be Kuzma, but to give up Anthony Davis for that, that would mean you're pledging long-term to Jahlil Okafor, and Kuzma would have most likely start playing the 3 instead of Etwan Moore, according to like this lineup. It would be very interesting, and you can't really trade Lonzo Ball again until the end of the year. So preferably, if I was LA, if I wanted to adjust that trade just to make it not so guard heavy, I would include the same players, but I would also try to include a third team to possibly take on Lonzo Ball and Beasley, and to offer the Pelicans someone else, because they're going to need more help on the inside if they do lose Anthony Davis, and they're gonna want someone with promise, because obviously in that trade they wouldn't receive anybody close to Anthony Davis, so it wouldn't really be worth it. You gotta give someone with a lot of upside. Anyway, Warriors, they should dominate this one. DeMarcus Cousins should have a really good matchup in this one. It's probably the premier matchup of the night. It's going to probably be about heart when it comes down to the end of it. LeBron could will his team to the upset. He has before many times. But if Durant and Curry are feeling it, which I feel like they will, I don't think anything stops them. Then you got the Nuggets at Timberwolves. Nuggets by 2 here. I'm going to pick the Nuggets to win and cover. Their road record is atrocious, but I think the Timberwolves are a shell of what they could be. They aren't playing to their full potential is what I mean. They could turn it around, but I think the Nuggets are too talented. Jokic is too talented, but Jokic versus Karl-Anthony Towns is always a matchup I love to watch. And then you have the Hawks, the Suns, 2 terrible teams combined, 27 and 77 record. Phoenix is currently favored by 2.5 here. I'm going to pick the Phoenix Suns to win this one. Since they're playing at home, their home record is slightly better. Hawks played well in their last game, but I like Devin Booker in this matchup. Trae Young should also have a good matchup. The Hawks, they have a lot of good young talent on the team, possible to be a couple players away, but it's hard to see. Same with the Phoenix, a lot of good young players. It's just hard to compete in a league that usually every team has at least 1 star and a solid backup when you really don't. I mean, the Suns, Ayton looks promising, but he's been battling injuries this season, so Booker doesn't really have that second piece. And Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, he's not that polished to be that superstar quite yet. He could be there in a couple years, but not right now. Then you got the Rockets at the Jazz. Will James Harden's streak continue? I don't know. Obviously, if the Rockets are losing by 20-something points, the Rockets will leave James Harden on the court just so his streak continues, which is, to me, one of the shallowest examples of a streak I have ever seen in my life. If you are a team and you're winning, let's say if you're winning by 40, and you have a triple-double streak or another streak going, and you just need one more basket to continue your streak, if you have the sportsmanship to literally put in that basket when you know the game's out of sight and it's in the winning seconds, you're a douchebag. So that example right there just solidifies to me James Harden, he's an incredible player, but he's a douchebag. Rockets versus Jazz. Jazz favored by 7.5. I'm going to pick the Jazz to win this one. One reason why is Gobert. I think Gobert's inside paint presence and Donovan Mitchell's improving defense. Well, I should say Ricky Rubio's defense or Ingles. Whoever guards James Harden is going to have a tall task, but I think Gobert is capable enough to take away the inside. It's going to be about outside shooting for the Rockets. Can they hit him consistently enough? I just don't feel like they can. I feel like the Jazz are just a tiny bit better all across the board, and I think that's the difference maker here. Chris Paul could also very well be the difference maker, but I still think the offense flows too much through James Harden, and what I mean by that is isolation. He's gonna he had that streak for a while where he had all those points that were unassisted on. He's going to need more of them assisted, get some more movement, get some more space, stuff like that, get more of a rhythm in that offense, and the Rockets will be even more dangerous. They have the 76ers at the Kings. Oh, by the way, I'm picking the Jazz to win and cover that spread. 7.5 point spread there. They got the 76ers at the Kings, 76ers by 3. I can't see why the 76ers are only favored by 3 if everyone but Wilson Chandler's playing in this one. Tough game, just because I know the Kings have had an incredible season compared to at least what I thought they would at the beginning of the season. I'm still picking the 76ers to win here and cover. Should be fun. Anyway, guys, you have a good day. Hope to see you tomorrow. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Peace.